What's good, y'all? And welcome to my review of this week's episode of My Hero Academia. And man, this episode was fucking amazing. I'm really curious to see what the reflection has in store for me this week. I doubt it's gonna be anywhere near this, but you never know. The reflection's been killing it lately. So maybe it might be able to maybe my top this week's episode of Hero Walker. I guess we'll find out when I want it. So let's talk. Alright, so guys, so after last video, which was still focusing mainly on Sue, on her, on her internship, we are now back to the aftermath of the staying arc. Everyone's back in their classroom. Sure. So we start some off for talk. Everyone's talking like, how many today we got, Kirishima and I believe. I forget the other dude. I think it was the dude that has that shoots out tape. I think that was the guy who and they were laughing their ass because Bakugo's hair is still the way the Gene dude had it. And he's like, "Shut up! I've been like, it's got used to it. Won't go back even if I wash it." He's like, "I'll kill you!" And then he's like, and then poops back. It's like it's bad. And they're laughing their ass. We got Uraraka being like, "Hi, yeah, it was very worthwhile." Uraraka's awakened. And then we got Minato, I believe his name is, the guy that has pretty much a useless quirk with the purple balls he can throw. He's like, no, Kirishima, what was his name? Kaminari was like, no, Kaminari. He's like, women are all demons and they're just hiding their true personalities. He's like, what did you learn at Mount Lady's place? So, and then they pretty much just show off. Then we get back to Deku Todoroki. I was like, yeah, man, I hope you guys, man, I'm glad to see you guys are alright after staying, in devastation, right? Momo was like, I was worried. I'm like, and I'm like, with that scene, I can see why people are shipping, Todoroki with Momo, but at the same time, they have literally had zero interaction. And the funny part is they're sitting right next to each other. I'm like, you guys sit right next to each other. Why can't we get at least one interaction with you two? Like, what conversation? I'm not saying give each other your backstories. Somebody's like, I don't know, one conversation to see how you guys would fit together. But whatever. So then we go, after all that, the class goes to trading with All Might. They're having this new drill, and there's steel mill area, I guess. I don't really know what you would classify that, but there's a lot of pipes. And when they're pretty much, in groups of 5, each one of you guys are going to be going against each other to try and help, and you gotta go, and you gotta maneuver your way through this thing. And the group was, for Deku anyway, was Deku, Ida, the chick that has, acid, and the tail dude that got controlled by the guy from class of 1B, and the tape guy. I don't remember both these characters' names. But yeah, and everyone's surprised because, Deku's finally, control, well, and not completely control one front, but has a lot more barrels because, he's, using only 5%, but he's, hopping around, jumping around through this maze to get into All Might, but everyone's like, wow, Deku's moves! And then we get to my boy Bakugo. And he's like, again, Deku's over there, look at those moves, while I'm sitting there at my internship doing nothing. And I'm like, again, and I'm like, I smell a retrieval arc. I can't be the only person that saw that coming, because they're not so like me who has seen Naruto. You gotta know some similarities between Hiroaka and Naruto. The relationship between Bakugo and Deku kind of reminds me a little bit of Naruto Sasuke. My Sasuke wasn't bullying Naruto. I guess he kind of was in part 1 of Naruto, but they weren't killing each other. But yeah, and it's I feel like it's good to end. I'm bet money. And any manga readers watching the video, do not spoil in the cussing below. I don't want to know what actually goes down if my predictions are right, but this is my prediction. I feel that later on, maybe at the end of this season, or maybe probably the beginning of season 3, we are going to be seeing, the crew trying to go against a League of Villains, and eventually they might get their hands on Bakugo, and the main bad guy, One All For One, comes in and, does like what Orochimaru did to Sasuke, showing him this power, this power to increase, maybe gives him another quirk, or something else so he can finally, beat Deku or something to become the #1 hero. I'm betting money that's what's gonna happen. And the crew is gonna have to go out there, and it's gonna be a 5-man team, and they're gonna go try to save Bakugo. I'm betting money that's gonna happen. There's gonna be a retrieval arc. Bet money. I'm betting money that's gonna happen. I'm talking because the way Bakugo's been acting with Deku ever since he got his quirk, it's kind of been hinting at it that kind of like, or is it just me that's seeing like that there's probably gonna be a retrieval arc with Bakugo? I don't know. That's just me. I'm assuming there's probably gonna be a retrieval arc at some point. But anyway, back to the episode. Deku ended up while he was jumping around. He slipped on one of the pipes, fell down, and the tape dude ended up winning. And All Might's like, come see me after class. And then we go into the locker room, and Minato notices that there's a hole in the wall, and next door is, the girls' locker room, and he's like, and my boy, he just like, teaching is a crime. He's like, my little Mita's already a criminal act. I'm like, excuse me, sir. Do you mean what I think you mean, good sir? Oh my. And then he starts gushing about like rocket slam by some chick's huge bruise, blah blah. And then they start going. Then the camera goes into the hall, zooming through, and then next to the earphone, the chick with the headphone jack, that's like her quirk. I forget her name, but she is just stabbing him in the eye, and everyone's like, she's like, I was only what he didn't talk about. So now we are done about the old happy times of this episode. Here, now we get to the meat of the episode. We find out the origins of the One for All Corps. So Deku goes to All Might's room, and he pretty much explains him the origins of One for All, and how it started as a quirk named All for One. And pretty much explained that when quirks first started up, when they first popped up, they were hated. Like, every day, people did not like them. They hated quirks. It was a lot like X-Men, which was one thing I was always kind of surprised when I first saw, Hiroaka last year. I think I saw it this year. When I watched season 1 about Hiroaka, and everyone, is unanimously, likes these guys, likes the chorus, likes Superhero. Because if we've learned anything from X-Men, we know that people do not like people who are different. We do not like change. We fear what we don't understand. And I was always kind of like why is everyone unanimously is there some, where's the anti-quirk, groups out there, that are protesting about quirks, and they existed when they first came out, before it became pretty much what the MCU is pretty much right now, with everyone, loves heroes. They're not fearful or protesting against people with quirks, or mutations in X-Men, which is something I like to see. So All for One had the quirk of stealing people's quirks, and that's pretty much what they did. It kind of shows off how different means those two quirks are. All for one, one for all. All for one, all quirks for one man, and one for all, one man for all. I like the way they showing off, how yin and yang, the yin and yang similarity. So, he's explaining the dude's backstory, how he was pretty much, he had quirks but he had a younger brother, and that he was sick, and he ended up giving him a quirk, as well as a bunch of other people quirks, but they ended up pretty much becoming the Numbness, or whatever they are called, those big guys that All Might faced up against season 1, and a few episodes ago, during the Stain arc in season 2. And pretty much how they just became brain that their bodies could not handle the extra power of these quirks. So he gave his little brother one, probably for what reason. We don't know what reason. Maybe it was out of kindness, maybe what. But we know, he was pretty much given a useless quirk. A quirk to, give to people, a quirk that could be passed on from person to person, which ended up turning into One for All. Yes, so it's kind of ironic when you think about, One for All, that quirk that, All Might Deku uses, the symbol piece, started from the worst of evil on All for One. But yeah, so, and then he pretty much shows off, then he was pretty much showing he went to a bunch of other people, then when it finally went to All Might, it was his time to take down All for One, and which is what he did, but he ended up surviving, and we see the still frame of All Might, down on his knees, looking down at this body, with blood. What I'm guessing is blood because the picture's in black and white. With the body laying down behind, which is probably All for One, because we see him later on, and the dude is fucked. He is, like, goddamn, he looks like a completely different person. Like, he's like all hooked up to wires and shit. His face is fucked up. All Might did number, and we see that at that moment, All Might was not a hero at that moment, because he went that far to beat a man's face in, which is kind of ironic, because that's the exact same thing, Sting fight against, was, heroes that wanted to be heroes, not heroes, that use their power just for, monetary gain. They use it to save people, help people. It's kind of ironic when you think about it, but yeah. And that it pretty much is, telling him, and All Might's kind of like wants to tell Deku that, that probably he's probably telling him all this, he's telling them, like, that one day you might have to face off against All for One. And he can't, muster up the courage to tell him that I'm probably not going to be there to help you defeat All for One. You're probably going to do it on your own. And I'm sure that's something that we all know, whether you're an anime only or a manga reader. We all pretty much know that All Might is probably going to eventually die, whether it's at the hands of All for One or someone else in the League of Villains, whoever. Man, if that does happen, that's gonna be one depressing episode. I know probably won't make me cry, because nothing makes me cry, but you never know. You never know. But yeah. And he can never mess up, he's like, it's like, he can't muster to say, I'm not gonna be there, I'm probably gonna die. But yeah, and that's pretty much where the episode ends with, Deku leaving and All Might kind of like, probably just thinking, over that we're not seeing. And also we see, All for One. And like I said, the dude's face is fucked up. I don't know, but it shows you how strong All Might used to be before, he had the injury. How strong he used to be, and he beat that dude's face into a plate. I'm like, God damn, the man's all hooked up to wires and shit. I'm like, damn. This dude kind of isn't just. I'm really noticing a lot of Naruto similarities here. Yeah, but yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing, and I gotta start shipping in one day. But anyway, guys, that's where the episode ends, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the 5 episodes. We're probably not going to see much more of the League of Villains until Season 3, because next week we're going to be seeing them pretty much going on, like, the summer camp trip, doing trials and shit. And it looks like we'll also see a couple members from Class 1B making a return, which I liked, which I'm glad to see, because actually there were a few people in 1B that I like. I'd really like to see, the guy from, I forget the dude's name, the guy that has, like, that can, like, mind control people, that can, like, if they talk to him, he can, like, tell them what to do. Pretty much, I forget the dude's name, and I forget what the Extension of the Court was called, but I'd like to see him make a return. And yeah. And who knows? Maybe Deku one day would, like, and since, he also, and we also found out the Bullet Brother did also have a core, but it was useless that he eventually went, he didn't know a core. So who knows? Maybe one day, maybe when Deku needs it most, Deku will awaken core. Maybe it might be, telekinesis or whatever quirk his parents had that he never got. Maybe who knows? Or maybe or it might just be, one fall. Maybe he might get some other quirk. I guess we'll find out. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. And also, guys, final for the video, 10 out of 10. Fucking love Sizzle. Let's see what the reflection has in store. And also, guys, stay in tune, because I'll also be making a recent video on my thoughts and opinions on the trailer and gameplay that just dropped for Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. I'm looking forward to that game. But yeah, guys, 10 out of 10 is my final verdict. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you feel like it. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.